covering some of their stuff.
Speaking of,
And I wish that I had a better relationship with the organizations out here, but a lot of them don't respond to my emails. I'm actually finding their events through you, right, which I appreciate,
Yeah, speaking of Asian American Association, did you hear about the visual, not the visual, the rally they had about that lady who got attacked in Corona? Did you hear about that?
Not really.
The Lai family. It was a photo op. What happened was the Lais got harassed. They got attacked by some Hispanics, and they got arrested. And then just recently, I think it was on a Friday evening in the rain. They had a rally. The Asian Americans Federation had a rally. Saying that stop Asian hate, blah blah blah. But to be honest with you, when you have the Queens Borough President, who I can tell you right now, he's just no good. We don't know why he got his job because of real estate. And then you have Senator Janaris, who is a clown, both being there at the same time. It just dilutes and makes your whole point of stopping hate disingenuous. Now you feel bad for the family because the family want justice, but they being led astray by some inept elected officials, just as Donovan Richards, the Queens Borough President, and Michael Gennaro, the state senator of Astoria. He's not even the state senator for that district. He's a state senator for Astoria and Long Island City. The state senator for that district is Jessica Ramos, but I think she was in Albany, so she wasn't able to go out there. So they probably brought in Janaris to take Senator Janaris to be speaker in the district. But the whole thing was straight disingenuous. I didn't like it. I don't know how you feel the Asian American Federation. I think it was nothing but a nonprofit trying to get some more money from the coffers of the taxpayers. Just put another rally in place to get some more taxpayer money. The Asian American Federation is a nonprofit. They're based in New York City. They do a lot of political work. So I tell a lot of people from the past, a few podcasts, or anywhere, I'll tell you that a lot of these nonprofits are political. If you don't get all that money from the government, especially from the elected officials, if you're not political. Now, political means electioneering. These nonprofits help these people get elected and reelected to office. Yeah. In return of getting these elected officials reelected or elected, all these candidates that...
You're so right. And the fact of the matter is that there's a lot of people who I meet who get involved with third-party politics or other types of things like that, where they get all, worked up about, like, oh, it's a 527, oh, it's a 501c4, or it's a 501c3, this is what they're supposed to do, blah, blah, blah. In reality, you're absolutely right. When their funding is really determined by the government administration that's in place, right? Even though these not-for-profits are not supposed to do electioneering, stuff like that, right? How can they not? Their whole funding is predicated on their relationship with elected officials. They have to do it. There's no other choice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you're exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, in return they get paid by our money, usually discretionary funding. Capital funding is kind of controversial. Capital funding is too risky. It's just like a variable. It's like a variable insurance policy. It's real risky. If capital funding, that's usually for like buying property and repairing property, etc. They'll give to a nonprofit that's kind of controversial. Usually they'll go to schools.
Another thing just one more thing I just want to know about the Asian American community is, I think like about a year or two ago, they actually passed some kind of rule saying that there was like $20 million set aside for Asian American groups, right? That was some new fund. Mm-hmm. I never really saw the money. I think a lot of money, like where is that money going? I want to know, right? Some of those events that we've seen, right? Yeah, they're they have a violin guy. I do a lot of action work, but they're really trying to certain people are louder up, certain people are not. I reach out to them, they're not getting back to me. Now they're talking about raising the money from 20 million to 60 million.
Yeah. You saw that book.
More than 60. So where did the 20 million go in the first place? Do you feel like $20 million was spent on Asian American interests? And also another thing that when I'm really pushing for mobilization of the community, which would be in both of our interests, me and the Asian American, organizations. And I have many emails that I've been reaching out to these officials that you see at these events. and I have a paper trail of videos, but they don't get back to me at all. They don't want to work with people like me, it seems like.
Oh, I think it's the nonprofits in the way, certain political organizers in the way. They play that game of like once they find out a full purpose, they'll try to shut them down. But they'll try to certain organizers and nonprofits, they play that game of trying to like blackball people they don't like, spreading rad rumors, spreading false rumors, people they don't like, and say, oh well, don't work with this guy. Oh, this person's scumbag. Da da da. I get that a lot about me, so I know that's about. But organized play that game, and nonprofit CEOs, executive directors play the game too. They play that same game of trying to descend, put people they don't like.
Yeah.
So
they form a little aristocracy, and they decide, right? Yeah, you're part of the club, or you're not. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So they play that game. They know what they're doing. It's disgusting, and I know what they're doing. They do that shit to me, but I play my own game. People see me, they know what I do. So it's a big thing. Let's get back to the whole money. It doesn't matter. It's $20 million, $60 million. They want 60 because they see other communities getting a lot of money, but the Asian community felt left out. Now, I think last week, or I think when you saw I think it was like last week or 2 weeks ago, when you screenshot my photo and you put it on your page about. But that was all that is bullshit, right?
So wait a second. Yeah, you also mentioned Linda Lee, so don't be afraid to throw the names around. What's going on?
Oh yeah.
I want to know.
If I see her, I would never met Monica. It was something about that. But Linda is Linda. She does her own thing. She does her own thing. She tries to stay out the spotlight, and that's the one thing I like about her. So I really can't really bash her that much because she's not in the spotlight. She's trying to be. She's not like Shahana Hanif. Or who was the other one that people might say is a problem of Tiffany Caban, and who like to be all the camera and get nothing done. So at least Linda Lee's not like that. Linda Lee, Sandra Ung, they're both Korean. They're not like Shahan Hanif and Tiffany Caban. You know, they're not over the spotlight like those two on the ladder. You know what I mean? It's a thing like that. So going back to the $20 million, $60 million thing. I'm gonna tell people right now. This is how when they say communities, right? Or we need $20 million to the communities, or we need $16 million to communities. When they say communities, it doesn't need you. You guys don't get the money. I'm black. There's a lot of money that they pump into the African American community. The regular people that had to wake up and they gotta go do their hygienical stuff and then crawl to the train or crawl to the bus or crawl to the $2 van, because I live in an area $2 van, so people take that to go to work too. Or any way they gotta get to work to make a bullcrap raise per hour. We don't never get that money. We will never touch that money. The regular Joe, you will never touch that money. The people that's gonna touch that money are the nonprofits. When they say communities mean nonprofits. So when they say, oh, we're going to drive $20 million to Asian communities, that means they're going to drive $20 million to Asian-based nonprofits.
That are going to basically refund, right, yeah? That are going to be like the political machine to really fuel, right, the establishment Asian candidates that are in there now to really put a death whack on the community so they can own it and they can kind of be the represent,
Yeah, like Asian community will be like nonprofits just as Asian American Alliance, the Sheik Foundation. They're Asians, right? The Sheik Foundation, the Sheik Federation, ran by Nikki Singh. CPC. I think Ron Kim. I don't know what's up with that. Ron Kim ACBC. So he would never fund them because
yeah. You know, I do think Tiffany Caban is a high-profile person. Yeah, and I do have some more questions about, right? I know that you're not really supportive. I have mixed feelings about Tiffany.
I actually donate to her campaign. I think the thing with Tiffany Caban...
Oh, you donate to her campaign?
I donate to a lot of her campaign. I think what her is... See, I see her a lot. Not a lot, but I see when I get to see her. She has this tendency of taking things out on people. She has a thing of, like, showing how she feels to people if she don't like her. Now, I think she really want to become DA so bad. Like, her dream was to become...
Yeah, she ran against Melinda Katz.
Yeah, she almost won by 60 votes. Like, if she had that endorsement by my former union, Dirk BJ, she'd probably be DA right now. She lost by 60 votes in the
primary. Now, was that a bitter race, or was that kind of like a low-profile race?
It was a bitter race. They was trying to get the progressives was trying to get Tiffany Caban in. Okay. And mainly the machine was trying to get Katz in. Now you have fewer people running that race.